Unit 5, page 71. Listening to.
If I may, I'd like to address another one of the clauses in the franchise agreement, the non-competition clause here at the bottom of page 3.
Yes, the non-compete. Well, I'll just say up front that that's standard. That's in all our agreements.
Right, that may be so, but I'm afraid we can't go along with it in its present form.
What do you object to? All our franchisees accept that. It's standard practice, like I said.
Well, the clause in question states, and I quote, "In the event the franchise is terminated through the default or a breach of this agreement by one of the parties, the franchisee and the principals hereinafter named shall not, for a period of 3 years, have any direct or indirect interest in any sandwich restaurant business located or operating within 5 miles of the franchise business if the franchise business is located in a metropolitan area." What this means is that in the event that the agreement between my client and your corporation should at one time no longer be in effect, my client wouldn't be able to operate a sandwich restaurant for 3 full years in his own neighborhood. I'm afraid that's out of the question.
Well, you must understand that my client has to protect itself. I mean, a former franchisee could just come along and set up a nearly identical sandwich restaurant right near one of our restaurants, and with all the know-how he got from us...
Yes, I fully understand the reasoning behind that provision, no need to explain. But my client also has skills and abilities of his own, proven skills relevant to the sandwich-making business. That's why your client is interested in concluding a franchise agreement with him in the first place. Let's face it, your client owns a young and upcoming franchise enterprise that may be promising, but it certainly isn't well known or well established yet. You need the skills and know-how of experienced franchisees as much as they need you. So I'll say it again. We simply could not accept any clause that would forbid my client from making a living through these skills independently for 3 whole years, if that should one day become necessary.
What do you suggest? We're not in a position to remove the non-compete clause from the contract. Let me be perfectly clear about that.
Of course. Our proposal is to reduce the scope of the clause. If you could consider reducing the time period the non-compete covers, we'd be willing to be more flexible about the arbitration clause, for example.
Well, all right. In that case, I think we could talk about a reduction.
Well, that's certainly a step in the right direction. How about this? We suggest reducing the time frame to 1 year.
That would be difficult for us. We could only reduce the number of years to 2, and that's already very generous on our part.
Let's agree on 1.5 years, shall we? But after all, you and I both know that your client really wants to enter into this agreement with my client, as he's perfectly suited to run a franchise in that part of town, which, let's be honest, isn't exactly the safest neighborhood. He knows the area, he has the necessary skills and experience.
Okay. I think we could live with that. 1.5 years it is.
Very well.
Now, what about the arbitration clause? You said you'd be willing to be a bit more flexible if we came up...